through that. Because the only thing I want to mention, a student asked me about like bearings. I don't have time, obviously, to do a word problem. I do have a lot of word problems coming up. I think my video in my classroom that I recorded, actually, it won't be for this week. It will be for next week. Will be all about bearings using the law of cosines. So for this week, I'll be looking into using the law of sines kind of problem. But I did also do a video, and I think the main thing with the bearings for a lot of students is really just setting up the problem. So I did do a recent video where I covered 28 word problems, just setting up the equations. I would highly recommend that you go ahead and take a look at those problems so you can understand like what to do when you need to set up an equation from a word problem. And my best piece of advice is when you have a bearing, every single time you have a bearing, use a compass heading. So north, east, south, west. So there's a lot of different ways to use bearings, or at least how they're described and how they graph them. But the main thing is use that northeast, southwest. And especially for the law of sines, law of cosines problems, if you have multiple bearings, then sometimes you're going to want to use those geometric relationships of parallel lines and a transversal. So that's where I'll just kind of leave it from there. I do have some more examples for you, but I did want to at least kind of like touch base on there because I don't have time to do a word problem at this point. But hopefully at least just kind of a reminder of always drawing those compass headings and drawing the bearings. I think will at least give you on a good foot. And then again, if you're doing the law of sines, law of cosines, you need to have an angle, right? You need to have an angle. For a law of sines, you have to have either two angles and a side, or you need to have that relationship, that ratio. And then for the law of cosines, you need to have either side angle side or side side side. So hopefully that helps. Sometimes you got to do a little bit more of geometry work to be able to find those missing sides for a word problem.